Hello and welcome everyone. Let's wait for 30 seconds to allow all our attendees to join with us. And yeah, in the meantime, I hope you all have good weather around you. Okay, I can see hi from Wendy, Maria, Paul, and Jatin. Hey, good to have you, Josephine, Brody, and all other members. We are going to go live in 10 seconds. Okay, let's start. Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are going to talk about not just the trends or what's happening in the functional nutrition market, but we are going to talk about the next frontier that we have in the functional nutrition market. And being part of R&D experts or open innovation and scouting leads, our audience is full of all different type of personas, and I believe when you are coming from all the variety of verticals representing the ingredient side to the final product development, you know that innovation is the key these days. Today, we are going to focus on GLP-1 foods, how the right ingredients can influence metabolic pathways, and how we can categorize these foods into supporters, boosters. We are going to explore the early adopters, the products that have already been on the shelf, and we are going to analyze some initial consumer reactions as well. And most importantly, we will touch some part of the economics that's there with the GLP-1. We know that you are on this webinar to understand whether this is going to be the next gold rush or it's just another hype. So we are going to talk about all these points. And today I'm Shikhar. I'm going to be your host for this webinar. I'm a long time observer of food and health trends, have been into the consulting domain from the past 16 years, and I have with me Harleen, who is the tech expert. He is knee deep into analyzing biotech, nutrition, and consumer preferences, and specifically, he has been working around this GLP-1 theme, analyzing this gold rush, and we are going to uncover some of the questions and insights. So during this webinar, if you have any questions, feel free to drop us in the chat and we'll try to cover those questions in the next 30 minutes. So let's start with the GLP-1 gold rush. Harleen, I cannot hear you for some reason. Your voice is not
Yeah. All right.
audible. Yeah,
Can you
now
hear me
it's
now?
yes, now it's perfect.
All right. Yeah. While there are drugs like Ozempic who are stealing the headlines, there's an entire food revolution that is happening just in the aftermath of the happenings that are occurring with the drugs, or like with the GLP-1 drugs. So today we're going to talk about that and talk about the GLP-1 boosters and the GLP-1 supporters market, and we are going to understand more about that.
And while we start into this direction, a small preamble. In the GLP-1 drugs market, already it has created a huge hype. It is already a $60 billion market. And in the coming 10 years, we see it growing beyond $250 billion. Now, this is not something new. This is already there in the market. It is growing and companies are already making a huge fortune out of it. But when we are talking about this drugs market, there is a parallel market that is developing, and that is the supporters and boosters market, where the food companies, the ingredient companies, they have a fortune to make. So while we are talking about this, let us analyze some of these signals, why we are saying this is going to be a big market, and where we stand right now with respect to the GLP-1 food market.
Right. So, Shikhar, as you mentioned about the GLP-1 supporter and booster market. So, supporter market, we have seen a lot of happenings around this market, a lot of companies launching product specifically targeting the nutritional needs of the people who are taking GLP-1 medications, who are undergoing that weight loss, who are uh, consuming these drugs, and they have a very specific set of nutritional need that companies are trying to fulfill with their product line. But today we are going to talk about and more focus about the GLP-1 boosters, the market which we feel uh, will grow in the aftermath of the GLP-1 drugs, and we do see a lot of happenings around this area. Uh, Specifically, this demand is trickling from users who typically use GLP-1 drugs. They are now shifting towards products which are more natural, that doesn't have any prescription hurdle, that doesn't have any discomfort, that doesn't cause any nausea. So having this push for more safer, more affordable substitute is one such push uh, through which a lot of companies are trying to target this audience of GLP-1 drug while offering them a more safer, so to say, safer and more easy to use product, while at the same time the product being much more cost friendly, uh, and not having troubles which are caused by insurance, which are typically not covered within the GLP-1 drugs. So offering
So in
something which
short,
is
we can
safer.
say that we are getting signals based upon the consumer demand shift, side effects from the drugs, and the cost that is there. Is it right to say that, Harleen, when we are talking about the supporters market, it is an existing market where, along with the GLP-1, consumers are targeting these type of supporter foods. But then booster foods is an upcoming market where consumers want to shift from the drugs, or they want to have a prolonged effect by consuming something that can help them to sustain the effects that they have received from the medication. Is it a better way to put it?
Absolutely, Shikhar. I think uh, the the demand essentially for even these kind of product are sort of trickling down from the drugs itself. People who don't want to consume drug, people who want more natural alternative to it. Food are the one. Uh, so supplements has always been there as a market that acted as an alternative to drugs, and or acted as a uh, sort of a preventing agent. So, and that is also we see how this kind of a market being coming up, wherein uh, companies are targeting those same metabolic pathway, those same GLP-1, but through food and in a much more safer way. Perhaps I would say this is sort of a parallel category that you can draw from drugs, but not perhaps having those similar challenges that you see while using drug. And even you see that a lot of consumer who are consuming such kind of a product are those who have previously consumed GLP-1 drugs. So a lot of high discontinuation rate is there with users who consume GLP-1. So there exists a market wherein companies can offer them a product which is not a medicine, just a regular food product. So, but can deliver them the same benefit, the same uh, health benefit that they're looking at when they're consuming GLP-1 drugs.
And this is a pretty strong signal when we say that 30% of the population, they are discontinuing with the drugs after 3 months of usage, and after that they are unable to maintain the benefits that they received during the 3 months. This is a strong signal for all the different type of markets, not just food, but for the OTCs, for the health and supplement nutrition industry, that they can capture this market where GLP-1 has already indicated a strong signal and consumers like that, the type of effects they get. But to maintain those effects, they may not prefer continuing with the drugs for a longer duration. And that's where the boom we are anticipating to occur in the coming time.
Yeah, and even we have seen product launches being rising exponentially. So from 300 to about 3,000 product has now come up just in a span of a year, uh, within just this category of GLP-1 boosters, targeting those users who wants to have a food while targeting the GLP-1.
And yeah, we have definitely witnessed that when it comes to the product sales or product demand, there is a high demand for the protein based, high fiber, high nutrition or nutrition dense foods, where the portion sizes are also playing a vital role. While we discuss all these segments, let us go into some of the ingredient level details first, where we can indicate to you that what type of supplements, beverages, nutrition bars, snacks, or all these type of products are coming in the market. We have already witnessed some of these products, and we are going to start our discussion first on the ingredients, and then we will move more towards the commercial angle behind the products and the final outcome. So, in terms of ingredients, we notice that there are multiple ingredients that are being explored: fibers, plant based extracts, carbohydrates, glycosides, even the derivatives, which indicates that there is a huge demand for such type of ingredients, and it's a high opportunity for the dairy companies to supply these ingredients. And then probiotics is not a hidden thing. Whenever it comes to any type of nutritional element, probiotics has already taken a lead, and it is one of the leading ingredients in this segment as well. So let's take a deeper look what type of particular ingredients we have seen being explored or being commercialized in under these categories, so that you have an idea what ingredients you need to keep under your radar. If you are an ingredient company, maybe these are the ingredients that you need to watch in the next few months. If you are trying to make a product, do keep these ingredients under your radar, that these are the ingredients that can make your product successful. So let's take a deeper dive towards the type of ingredients that are being explored.
Yep. So, Zikr, as you rightly mentioned, the probiotics, which are like explored for a variety of health benefit. So, GLP-1 is one such area where probiotics are also being explored. A lot of commonly known strain like Lactobacillus plantarum, Acidophilus, and even a combination of different strain, uh, Akkermansia even. So these kind of probiotics are being explored for their health benefit, specifically with regard to GLP-1. And then a lot of prebiotic fiber as well. In some cases, even a combination of prebiotic and probiotic. So a lot of research, a lot of even commercialized product have utilized probiotics, prebiotics, things like resistant starch, FOS, fructans, soluble corn fiber. So a lot of variety of probiotic fiber, prebiotic fiber, and a mix of probiotics has been explored within this industry. If I talk about plant-based extract, here we have seen some of the commonly known ingredients like quercetin, different flavonoid complexes, theobromine, even different plant extract are being used, are being explored specifically for their benefit towards stimulating the GLP-1. While if I look at the dairy-derived ingredient, here we see a lot of activity happening specifically around protein. So around whey protein, microgel, milk protein, hydrolysate, casein, beta-lactoglobulin, and then also activity around milk oligosaccharide. So, and this is, I would say, one category where we have seen some products in the market, but a lot of research being happening specifically when we look at the clinical trials and we look at the patent space. And even if I look at, say, spaces like ribudoside, which is a sweetener, but is also now being explored for its health benefit for GLP-1, things like allulose, isomaltulose, xylem fiber, different resistant starch. So all of these ingredients are commonly well known, have some of the other benefit or have some of the other function in the food product, are now also being explored in the benefit that they can offer with regard to stimulating GLP-1.
And when we are talking about ingredients, I'll say that it is important for all of you to understand that some of these ingredients are in under the research stages, which means that if you put it on a timeline on to see whether these are under research or under clinical trials or already being explored in the products, you'll be able to get a better picture. So let us showcase to you which ingredients are under research that can help you in evaluating that if you are already having similar type of ingredients in your portfolio, being an ingredient company, then definitely you need to keep all these ingredients under your watch to understand that these are going to come into the GLP-1 related products. And if I talk about some of these ingredients where we notice that these are heavily researched, then there are yeast derived ingredients, there are glycosides, and there are different probiotic strains which are under research. Now this creates a huge opportunity that when these are being explored, well researched, we are going to see the products based upon these ingredients. But then the next category that we are bringing, this is based upon the ingredients that have already entered into the clinical trials. We have noticed that there are ingredients like rice protein, potato protein, casein, all these ingredients which have been well known in the market. Now these are being explored specifically for the GLP-1 benefits, and there are clinical trials being conducted for the GLP-1 stimulation impact. And lastly, we have the ingredients that have entered into the commercialization stage where a lot of probiotics and prebiotic fibers have already been explored, and this was something expected because there is a lot of push towards high fiber, high protein diet, and we have witnessed that all the different type of fibers have already been explored in different type of products. If we talk about some of those, there are different type of blends that are coming up based upon the prebiotic fiber and the enzymes. Then there are some other ingredients which we are witnessing that are gaining attention, that is the whey protein hydrogels. But let's take a deeper look on all these ingredients and the type of products they are covering. But when we are going in that direction, we do understand we cannot cover all these ingredients altogether. So we have to pick only some of these and take a deeper dive around these ingredients. So, Harleen, your comments or observations on any specific ingredients that you have?
Yep. I think a very common trend that I've noticed here is specifically around dairy-based ingredient. A lot of them are specifically in clinical trial stage. Some are also across some there have also been some patent filing, but only a handful of players are right now active in that. But if I look at, say, perhaps the probiotics, the prebiotics, and also the plant-based extract, there we do see a lot of different players, startups, universities, even individual inventors. A lot of variety of players are filing patents. A variety of players are bringing in commercialized products in the market. So a lot of scattered activity across a variety of players that is happening across this particular category of ingredient.
And when we are talking about multiple players, let us show you some of the existing players that are doing very heavy research and they do have products in the market. And some of these brands you will recognize. We have Nestlé, Asahi, Arla, and other companies that are taking a lead in this direction. And there are numerous startups, but we are only showcasing few names, which covers Field, Unicity, Supergut, Notco, and the likes, which are taking a lead in this direction. But in today's webinar, we are going to cover only some of the companies. So why not take opinion from our audience, which companies we should focus on in today's webinar? How about we share a poll here? Would you like to comment which company you would like us to discuss in the webinar? So let's see what our audience is expecting us to cover. Okay, I see. Our attendees are still voting. Okay, I can see Nestlé is leading the chart. Okay, seems like we have the final conclusion. I'm ending the poll. So definitely we are going to cover Nestlé, and let's say as a bonus, shall we also cover Arla? Probably we can share some insights around Arla as well. So let us dig deeper with these two companies today, and we will share some strategic insights also behind these companies.
Yep. Let me just, I think, bring in back the slides of these companies. So, if I talk about Arla, so there we have seen a very interesting research pattern. Specifically, we noticed that they have patent and they have clinical trials way back from 2019, wherein they have explored ingredients like whey protein hydrolyzed in combination with calcium minerals, and then they have looked upon beta-lactoglobulin, the agglomerates of whey protein, the physical form of beta-lactoglobulin in combination with different calcium mineral. So a lot of research and a lot of clinical trial that they have done over this period, specifically around exploring the combination of whey protein, combination of different dairy protein segments in along with different milk mineral, specifically around calcium. And we have seen that they have patents and they have research dating back to 2019, wherein they specifically looked at this GLP-1 aspect specifically for uh, diabetic management route. But later on we have also seen a lot of activity by Arla specifically on the weight management side, uh, speci- uh, during this boom of GLP-1 drugs. So a lot of research that Arla has done around the GLP-1 for diabetic management is also now trickling down, is also sort of venturing into the weight management side of things.
And
Well,
one important point to note here is while there are certain companies out there that are rebranding their products, that are changing the claims and communication of the existing products to claim that these are GLP-1 suited products, there are companies like Arla, or I can say that the likes of Nestle, that are doing research particularly for GLP-1 stimulation, and they are conducting clinical trials to validate the efficacy and bring the desired result. So there are two directions that you can take from here. You can either check the existing products that you have, maybe those can have new claims or communication, but yes, that does not beat the research that is being conducted by the companies for the customized formulations and specific products that are targeted for GLP-1 stimulation.
Uh, right. I think in a similar way, we have also seen activities about Nestle, wherein they have explored a variety of ingredient. A lot of research that they have done is about oligosaccharide, HMOs, FOS, different cell-lighted oligosaccharide, and then also some patent filing around mulberry extract, while their commercialized product uses microgel of whey protein. So they are active into dairy, they are active into plant extract, they are active into oligosaccharide. So they're exploring a variety of ingredient and not just putting all the eggs in a single basket, and looking at different side of ingredients and trying to understand the health benefit specifically on GLP-1, but also on additional benefit like sleep quality, different behavioral outcomes.
And while we are showcasing these insights, you may think that, oh, maybe the companies like Nestle or Arla, they started 5 or 6 years back, and that's how they planned for the GLP-1 market. But I can say that while we were tracing down their research, we also found out that they had research as old as from 2007, where the research indicated impact on GLP-1. Now, why I'm sharing this insight, the companies that are aiming for this market, if you are slightly behind in this race and you are thinking that probably if you are going to start right now with the research, it's going to take time, you need to have a look at your existing portfolio, the research that has been conducted in the past, which ingredients, which formulations, what research is correlatable to GLP-1, and that type of research can be picked up for faster execution and go to market products. Now, again, I'll say that there are different type of options that we are witnessing in the market, and strategically, there are different routes that can be taken, going with the collaboration or maybe looking at a research that you can directly use. All those directions are there, but it doesn't mean that you don't explore your existing portfolio with the specific lens of GLP-1. And we'll be talking about, when we are talking about these products, we'll also cover some of the market insights, because if you are aiming to plan your GLP-1 product strategy, consumer voice also matters. What type of problems consumers are facing, and this is not a new thing. We have seen historically, when sugar reduced products were launched into the market, ingredient replacement was happening, consumers already faced a lot of issues. So this is a common challenge that happens with taste, texture, mouth feel, all such type of things. Maybe consumers not feeling the fulfillment that they get with the old product in the market. So with all this, we are witnessing similar type of problems, and then there are certain good signals also that we witnessed from the consumer reviews. So we are going to also indicate insights that can be helpful for you, so that you can plan your research direction, specifically aiming for the problems that are highlighted by the consumers while consuming the GLP-1 food items. So let's take a deeper look into all these comments and reviews.
Yep. So, Shikhar, as you mentioned, the health benefit aspect of GLP-1, the weight management aspect, the satiety inducing aspect. So here our research shows that a lot of consumer are appreciating that they are feeling this effect of curbing the craving. These kind of products are able to keep the hunger in check. These kind of product are able to provide that suppressing hunger and controlling their craving. So definitely, in terms of health benefit, we do see that consumer are actually having the health benefit that is being promised through the GLP-1 products. While if I talk about the negative aspects where consumers are disliking such products, here we see that most of the consumers complain are specifically around flavor, around taste, around consistency. Now, these are not something I would say which is new to functional food category or specific functional beverage category. A lot of this concern have been there in a functional food category broadly, and perhaps those kind of research and innovation being done there can also be utilized in these cases to further make a product that has uh, an improved texture, a desired texture, as well as a desired consistency without settling down the particles, but at the same time providing those health benefit that the consumer is looking for in such kind of a product, while also giving them a, 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 a food product that they can consume regularly without having to think about its bad taste or its bad consistency or the odd texture that you get with these products.
Harleen, we are approaching the time limit of the webinar. How about we take up some questions that are asked by our attendees? So let me read out some of the questions that we have, and I believe it will be interesting to take some of these. So we do have questions around impact of GLP-1 on snacking habits, particularly confectionery, and what could be the innovation focus. Then we have some of the attendees asking, how big is the addressable GLP-1 population by 2030? I believe we have given some of the clues around 2030, that how big this can be a market when it comes to the food items or the supporter or booster items. And then we have how are major food companies reacting? We have shared some of the information with you. I believe this is covered, but then I have an interesting question coming up. What are the emerging delivery formats, or we can say the emerging technologies around the delivery formats? So I believe this is a good addition. We can cover this up. So Harleen, any thoughts on the delivery formats that are upcoming in the GLP-1 segment market?
Yep, Shikhar, I think we do have some research around that area as well. Let me just quickly pull up those slides and share this ahead. Yeah. Yep. So we have seen some of the activity specifically around delivering these health benefit, these kind of ingredients to the user in a way that it is most desirable to them, but at the same time it is able to deliver those kind of health benefit. I think one The one that stands out is Microgel technology, which Nestle is using specifically for its whey protein, wherein to have a smooth texture and to have a pleasant taste, they have encapsulated the whey protein with this with this microgel, so as to have a smoother texture and a pleasant taste beverage. At the same time, their clinical trial has shown that uh, the whey protein microgel, when consumed, it increases the GLP-1 secretion by 66%. So again, the health benefit is there. At the same time, they're able to tackle those negative effect that we have uh, with such kind of functional food product. While a lot of work is also being done around prebiotic fiber. Specifically, we do see a combination of prebiotic and probiotic, different synbiotics being explored, prebiotics with enzyme blends, prebiotic with vitamins. So a lot of these combinations are emerging up, specifically by startups, wherein they are just not using a single ingredient, but using a bunch of ingredients that are known for their health benefit, and then looking at those combinations for their GLP-1 benefits. While at the same time, we have seen some of the research that is happening, say, around encapsulation, also being utilized in this space. Since encapsulation provides a targeted delivery, it provides a protective layer, and that is also the functionality that is being utilized here by encapsulating these ingredient so that they provide a sustained release, making the natural effect of fatty food and thus having the satiety without adding any calories. So these kind of effect that we have seen of for encapsulation of functional ingredients in general are also being now explored in the GLP-1 category for this functional ingredient specifically meant for stimulating the GLP-1.
So that's great. And I can say that while we are approaching the end of our webinar, we do have an offer for our webinar attendees. We are going to give you a free consultation option. I'm sharing a link in the chat, and we are displaying a QR code. You can book a free consultation for the webinar, and any questions you have around all the topics that we have covered, or maybe any additional information that you require, you can ask us by booking a free consultation from the link that I have provided in the chat. Now, lastly, as a bonus insight, we are also going to touch upon the different price points that we have for different type of products. So while we were talking about all these things, the webinar is not complete by giving you some insight about the pricing strategy. So we analyzed some of the products, and we are going to bring a comparison that how these products are positioned in the market. So we have one normal product which is from Ensure, which claims the traditional benefits of weight management. But then the second product that we have is Boost from Nestle, which falls into the GLP-1 category. If we compare the price points, on one side we have Ensure that falls into like $1 for 100 ml, and then second we have Boost, which is in the GLP-1 category, that is around $2.2 for 100 ml. And then next we have similar type of product comparisons where we have particularly the fiber-based products, where we have prebiotic fiber that is coming in the range of 8 cents per gram. And then on the second hand side, we have the GLP-1 booster fiber from Hum, which is priced at 20 cents per gram. Similar type of trend we have observed for the supplements as well. The traditional supplements which are there for weight management, those are priced at half the value of the GLP-1 claimed supplements that are there in the market. And this is not a kind of one of its kind trend. We are observing it across multiple categories. What does this trend indicate is, if you have your product which is labeled as GLP-1 product, you can put it at double the price in the market, and you can have a differentiation factor because people are looking for GLP-1 products, and all these products are priced at double the price range compared to the traditional weight management or weight loss products or health management products. Now, like I said, there are companies that are moving in the direction of rebranding their products, existing products, adding new claims and communication on their existing formulations, and trying to move into the segment of GLP-1. At the same time, there are companies that are having a long-term plan, doing a fresh research, clinical trials, and particularly working on the formulation or ingredients that are specifically targeted towards GLP-1. Both the strategies are right. It depends at what stage you are, how you can maximize your market capture for this GLP-1 gold rush, and at what stage you are. So we are ending this webinar with this thought that hope our insights have supported you. If you are doing ingredient discovery, you might have entered into the product formulation side, or you are at a stage where you are deciding your product launch strategy. Whatever is the case, we are giving you a chance to book a free consultation with us, and we can answer some of the questions that you may have, and we can help you in strategizing how you can have a bigger market cap, how you can invest in this gold rush, how you can have differentiated products in this market based upon how competition is designing their strategy for the GLP-1 targeted food items. So pick up your phone, you can book a slot with us, and we'll be happy to help you out. Well, that's all from us for today, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Have a good GLP-1 accelerated innovation ahead.